Hey guys, how's everybody doing? This one's called Max Gets Political, but I'm not really getting political. I want to look inside of politics to try to figure out how it's going to affect finance. So I've been studying the people that Trump's appointed, and the Secretary of the Treasury is an option bro. You know, I mentioned before I'm not the biggest Trump guy, but I'm a lifelong conservative, and I'm on his team. I'm behind him. I'm going to give him a chance here. I think there's going to be some good opportunities for investors, just due to some of his decisions. So I'm looking at some of the guys who are advising him and trying to figure out if there's anything we can discern from studying the guy's background. Anyway, I saw him on Bloomberg. This guy, Scott Bessents, he's a hedge fund bro. He's an option bro. Stick around to the end. We're going to kind of copy trade a trade of his. But anyway, so the Secretary of the Treasury last time Trump was in office was a guy named Steve Mnuchin. And I thought Mnuchin always did a good job. Mnuchin was from Goldman. This guy worked with Soros in the 90s, and then more recently, he's been on his own. But he still had Soros' backing. We'll talk about that in a second. He's a little bit like a mix of Zuckerberg and Mayor Pete, and I mean that is a compliment. But, you know, he used to be a Democrat, and he's happily married. Him and his husband have a couple kids through surrogates. But, yeah, all through the 2000s and up to 2017, he was a big Democratic backer. But then, just like a lot of people, around 2017, he switched sides, and by 2024 this year, he contributed a bunch to the campaign. Of course, that's part of the process to get chosen to be in Trump's administration. You have to contribute. Well, anyway, he contributed, so he does. The thing about it's not just the contribution he made to the campaign. His vision also aligns with Trump's. He's big into precious metals. He's big into, from what I've heard and listening to him on Bloomberg yesterday, and he's a tariff guy. And of course, he's big into tax cuts because rich guys always love tax cuts. Never met a rich guy that didn't love a tax cut, have you? All right. So his career, let's look at that real quick. So he's been around 4 decades. He's 4 years older than me. So that means he probably started on Wall Street in the mid 80s. I started my career in the late 80s, but he's 4 years older than me. But so get this. So he started his career in the mid 80s, but by the early 90s, he was working with Soros. And you remember in 92, Soros famously made a bet against the pound. People blame him for crashing the pound, or he did crash the pound, or whatever you want to say. Well, anyway, Scott Bessents was working for him then, was in the London office at that time, evidently. But he launched several funds. But then recently, Bessents found a Key Square Group, 2015. So it's a macro investment firm, and it was seeded with $2 billion worth of investment capital from Soros. He grew that to 5.1 billion, if you can believe what AI tells you, or what the internet tells you. But I mean, that's amazing. 2 billion to 5.1 billion in 2 years. He also has done deals with Jim Chanos, Stanley Druckenmiller, traded with them. He's a member of the Economic Club of New York and the Council on Foreign Relations. Now that is some big stuff. That's Illuminati type stuff. That's, he went to Yale. I asked AI if he was in the Skull and Bones, and AI couldn't tell me. I wouldn't be at all surprised if he was in the Skull and Bones Society, which is a secret society for people that go to Yale. That I wouldn't be at all surprised. There's so many of those people that have been in the Skull and Bones that were either president or have run for president or senators, congressmen, CEOs of large companies. It's a exclusive club, and I'm not in it, and neither are you. But I bet he is. But if anyone knows or has any insight, let me know. If anyone has any connections up there in New Haven. All right. So financial disclosure. So everyone has to file one of these. When you work in government, they want to kind of make sure you don't have any conflicts or improprieties or something. Now, that of course, Elon and Trump don't have to do this, but everyone else, literally every other president, every candidate, anyone who's ever been in business or not in business, in politics or have a role in politics has to have one of these things on file. And it just kind of avoids the appearance of impropriety. And yes, I know there's still plenty of impropriety that takes place even after people file these reports. But I think these reports are interesting to look at. And I always like to look at them, especially some of the wealthier senators, and see what they're, and people like this, cabinet members, and see what they're doing. So I thought it'd be interesting to go through his financial disclosure real quick. But stick around. We're going to have an option trade here at the end of this. 2 of them, actually. Okay, so where is that darn disclosure? So here's his disclosure. Filer's information, Scott Bessent, Department of Treasury. It'd be so awesome to be a Secretary of the Treasury. That'd be my dream come true. If one of my buddies was president, I would give anything to be, or I'd want to be Chairman of the Federal Reserve or Secretary of the Treasury. That'd be incredible. That'd be my dream role. Okay, well, I may not have quite blue enough blood or enough connections to do it, but anyway, all right. So these are positions. So this is positions outside government. So this is the main one, this Key Square Group. This is this hedge fund that's, I think that's his main thing. So here's some estates. I bet those are family members or parents where he's the executor, brother or sister or something. Rockefeller University, he's the chairman of the investment committee. That's some Illuminati stuff right there. The chairman of the investment committee at Rockefeller University. Tell me this guy doesn't have blue blood. Not that there's anything wrong with blue blood. But some of this other stuff I think is just partnerships and family stuff, stuff that's not public. So I bet these are homes that he owns, limited liability companies. Yeah, he has a lot of homes, evidently. He's big into real estate. Okay, so here is his assets, incomes, and retirement accounts. Okay, so here's his main job. I guess he pays himself $1 million because it says $1 million in income. Now at this other company, this Kamei Services, he gave himself he was paid a consulting fee. Then he made $2.7 million from his hedge fund, and this is probably management fees. He probably gets 20 plus 2, or a lot of them get 20 and 2. So this is the 2. So we could back this out. We divide that number by 0.0098. And anyway, we could back the number out and see what he manages. We divide by, I used to know how to do that. Anyway, it's not that hard. We could figure it out. Anyway, but if he's making 2.7 and that's his 2%, so that's easy. That's because 2% is 2.7 million. So that's like 150. That must mean the fund has about 150 million, which is kind of a small fund, but that's only his share of it, because he has to split it with other people. Yeah, so that's still pretty good. All right, well, let's see what else he has on. He has some T. Rowe Price, his standard stuff. I've looked through this once before. I'm trying to just pick out the interesting stuff. I'll link to this in case you guys want this, or you can Google it. It's easy to find. It's public information. All right, I don't care about any of that. So here is his spouse, his husband. Now, his husband has more of a regular background, has 6 figures in the bank, but has between $1,000 and $15,000 worth of Archer Daniels Midland stock, has some Verizon stock, kind of standard stuff, has some Spider shares, some gold, GLD, an IRA, and looks like probably a municipal bond fund or something. I bet it's tax-free. Okay, well, now we get down here to the cash in the bank. So other assets. So we got cash in the bank. Okay, so one bank we got somewhere between 1 and 5 million. At another bank we got somewhere in the 6-figure range. At a third bank we also have somewhere in the 6-figure range. An estate in the Bahamas, an estate in North Carolina, 7 figures worth of art and antiques, and I bet that's undervalued. It says between 1 and 5 million. And I'm not saying undervalued in a dishonest way, not at all, but art and antiques aren't super liquid. They aren't repriced every second of the day like stocks and bonds and options are. So not that those aren't honest numbers, but it's hard to get a real number on art and antiques. I bet I wouldn't be surprised that's vastly, maybe even understated, just because of the nature of art and antiques. All right, so what else do we have here? I don't even know what that is, but that's saying he's going to best of. What's this all season press? I know it all seasons press for 1 to 5 million. If anyone knows what that is, put it in the comments. He has them low by iBits. You got to love that. Then these are like limited partnerships and stuff like that. This is where it really gets fun. All right, this guy's got himself over 50 million of SPY. He's got himself over 50 million of Qs, and he's got himself over 50 million of the equal weight SPY, which is RSP. He's got over 50 million of treasury bills. I mean, why not? I mean, you know, he's got, I like this. He's got some Canadian, what is that? It's a currency cross, dollar to Canadian. Then he's also got some euro dollars and he's got some yen. Get this though, he's got an open SPY put option and it's between 1 and 5 million. I love this guy. Look at this, and he's got Q put options, just like me. See, maybe there's hope for me being Secretary of the Treasury someday. He's got SPY put options. This guy's awesome. And he's also got to even have options on his, or, you know, he's hedged his RSP also. All right. And then anyway, after that is banks, treasury bills. Let's see what else there is. You know, bank accounts, money markets. I mean, when you have this much money, it's almost boring. I mean, what's this Lombardi Capital Fund? Other than the top 5 holdings, underlying assets are not ascertainable. I will divest if confirmed, whatever that thing is. These are probably, now he has some Ryanair. He has some limited partnerships. Cambrian Biopharma Series A, Series C. I wonder, those are probably maybe venture capital stuff. I mean, I haven't heard of any of these companies. Maybe it's, Global Alpha Select Onshore Fund, Totem Macro. I mean, I think I've heard of Totem Macro. But anyway, then he has some little JP Morgan, U.S. government money markets. You got to have some of that. Nothing wrong with that. Little Federated Treasury Obligation Fund. Institutional shares, of course, the big boys. Got him some Morgan Stanley. I mean, this guy, look, and down here, then I guess he's got more SPY. This is a smaller amount of SPY, probably in another account. And then he has some more Qs and some more RSP, more treasury bills. I mean, money markets, some undeveloped land, South Carolina, more limited partnerships, Federated Government Obligations Fund, BlackRock Liquid Federal Trust Fund, institutional shares, BlackRock Liquidity Funds, Treasury Trust. Well, this guy looks like he has good taste and a lot of money. So we'll see if he makes a good Treasury Secretary. What I think was interesting though is he's the Treasury Secretary and he has put options on the SPY and the Qs. Does he know something we don't? I mean, he went to Yale. You saw how much money he has. He's a hedge fund bro. Not only that, I think that the market, and I know it's down 1.5%. Gosh darn it, I should have made this video an hour ago. But I've been thinking about making this video. I got up in the middle of the night last night and I saw this story and I've been started typing it out. Then I fell asleep. Anyway, whatever. You know, the market, it's a good time to hedge. It'd been a better time to hedge an hour ago, but it's still volatility is traditionally very low. We're probably just experiencing a little bit of volatility today because it's options expiration day. This is probably nothing, but let's look at how to hedge out, not how to hedge out a little move like down 1% today, but let's look at how to hedge out something big like that's going to happen over the next month. So we could do it one of two ways. I'm going to show it, and I did this an hour ago, and it's already up $108, and this one's up $14. But here's two ways to do it. Well, we're going to do a new one because this one's, no good now. So I'm going to, the first way we're going to do it is we're going to do SPY puts, and we're going to do puts on the SPY. All right. And then I have a way of choosing these, but this isn't so much an option bro talk. So I'm just going to choose them real quick. And I'm not going to talk about the methodology because that's not what you guys are here for today. And then, but get with me in Discord if you want to talk specifics or whatever. But I do have something I look at in a way that I do this, a method. Got to have a method. All right, so I guess that is it. All right, so this goes out a month. It only has a 29% chance of profit. This is this is a trade you're hoping to lose. This is a trade that you can make a lot of money if the market drops. Even the market just drops 5%, you make $1,800 per contract. You can do this 10 times and make 18,000, easily. But it's a low percentage. And so the thing is, really what you also have to look at is how much it costs, because 70% of the time you're just going to lose this $440. So what I always make sure is I make sure that I have something bullish that's going to grow more than $440 the next month if the market keeps going up. In other words, this is a hedge for other trades, and I have plenty of bullish trades on. So, but anyway, I'm going to save that, and this is a decent, way to try to play a pullback. If we get in here and we pull back, like I say, not just 1%. If we go to the middle of the month and we're down like 1.5%, this trade's $171 winner. So that's not what it's for. It's for if we're going along and we're down, 4.2%, it's $1,000 winner. If we're down 6.2%, it's a $1,700 winner. So that's what this trade ensures, but it's expensive. It's $444. So be careful. Anyway, sorry I didn't get this video out faster. Bearish hedge. I'm going to just load this right now. I'm going to load this on YouTube right now. It's 12:41, so you can see this as fast as possible. But also, we're going to look at it one other way. We're also going to, in case you guys want to, we're going to look at it. We're going to look at it. We're going to look at hedging with VIX calls also, going out to the same date, around the same date, March 18th, March 21st. It's around the same day. So let me see here. I have a method to the madness here too. Okay. So okay, so here is the trade with VIX options. This one only cost $83, so it could be done on a smaller account. Now, it's not going to give you quite as much protection either, and it's a little bit different kind of protection. You need VIX, which is trading around 15, 16, 17 lately, to pop, and not just a little bit, not just to pop to 22, to pop to 25 to 30 to 35, that, before you start making any serious money, before you start making 500 or 1,000, you need a pretty good little pop. But a lot of people like to hedge with this kind of trade. So I'll share this one also. I appreciate you guys for being here. Tell me what you think of Scott Bessent. Tell me what you think. I really wasn't trying to be political. I'm really not, but I just want to figure out what they're going to do and try to be one step ahead of it. Like I say, and I obviously, as a lifelong conservative and a lifelong Republican, I fully 100% support Trump. Since I disagree with some of his tactics sometimes. That's all. All right, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you have a good day. All right. See you.